The love of money is the root of all evil, a statement truer than most people would think. Every violent crime, every statistic, every sociopath, every dictator, they're all results of the love of money. Minecraft is a game where money holds a lot of value. Villager trades are the fastest and most reliable ways to get geared. Most S&P storylines are focused around betrayal, power, and some priceless item at the center. But what exactly is money? Don't forget this video is about Minecraft, but I want to change your perspective when you hear me say the word money. Most people think money is always something physical, cash, shekels, or whatever currency your country uses. But in reality, money is just an exchange, a transfer from one person to another. That transfer satisfies a want or a need. When you work a job, you're exchanging your time for cash. When you spend that cash at a store, you're exchanging it for something that you want. But cash isn't the only exchange you can make. Let's say you're hanging out with one of your friends. In that case, time is your money. It's the price that you're paying to build a relationship. An exchange of time is one of the most valuable currencies anyone can have, by the way. Now let's go back to one of the first acts of evil that ever transpired in human history. Let's go back to Cain and Abel, two brothers. They farmed, they raised animals together, and they made sacrifices to God. They exchanged a part of their livelihoods for something greater. Abel gave God the best lamb of his flock. Cain, he gave some grapes. Not his best, just some. But here's the thing, if it's not your best, if it wouldn't hurt you to lose, can you really call it a sacrifice? A sacrifice is just another form of exchange, one that hurts, but is undoubtedly worth it in the end. In Minecraft, especially on servers, sometimes you have to sacrifice. I know you've seen those videos on SMPs where someone betrays their day one best friend for power or something like that. I mean, I wouldn't slime out my best homie over some pixels, but that's truly a sacrifice in their eyes. We've talked about money, now it's time to talk about evil. The textbook definition of the word evil is something profoundly immoral and wicked. Evil isn't stealing because you can't afford to buy food. Evil isn't raising your gun out of vengeance or because your heart hurts so much. Evil is when you do something purely out of your own gain, not caring who it hurts. When the slightest satisfaction of your desires is more important than other people's thoughts and opinions and feelings. This is why the love of things, especially money, is the root cause of all evil. But remember that wrong and the evil are not the same thing. You can do something wrong without it being evil. Like how I said that doing something because your heart hurts so much isn't evil. Minecraft has plenty of examples of this so-called evil. All the hostile mobs, the ancient buildings, and their traps to protect two pieces of rotten flesh, like who wants it? Even the player itself can be seen as evil in a sense. Do you really think that villager breeder you made was humane? But remember what the title of this video is. Connecting the evil acts that the player commits is a little less complicated than other things that we're going to talk about in this video. But 90% of the time, those massive farms or those large-scale villager breeders are to obtain more wealth, more for your conquest, your rampages. The only reason you do those evil things are because of the vast power differences between you and the other mobs. You don't play with a warden the way you would with a villager, because you know you can't win that fight. But if you get enough enchanted golden apples, stack enough strength potions, and build up enough confidence that you're crazy enough to actually think about it, then you can start to treat almost every mob like the villagers. The player's wealth is its power. In Minecraft, money to the player correlates directly to how powerful you are. A lot of the things that are seen as currency in Minecraft make you more physically powerful. Things like totems and gear sets, every strong item, every potion, every enchant has its own value. And the richer you are, the more physically powerful you become. In this case, money is the direct cause of your evil because your wealth makes you see yourself as a being that is beyond strength. And tell me one problem that money cannot answer. If you're hungry, you can buy yourself a meal. If there's something that you need, there's a way that you can buy it if you have enough money. Even death can be solved with money. Now you may wonder how this is possible. Money can't raise the dead, but when you think about why death is a problem, all you have to do is remove the issue. Like if you're missing a loved one, buy a therapist. You see, when you're thinking about solving problems, you have to remember that all things in life are temporary. That pain you're feeling from the girl that broke your heart, that's not going to be forever. The confusion that you're feeling because you don't know how to answer a problem, is going to go away. Life and everything that comes with it isn't going to be the same as when you were born. But what you decide to do with that life and the time that you have is beyond important. Once you have this type of mindset, things like pain, anger, etc. won't be able to hold you back from accomplishing your goals. You realize that all things in life have the answer to them. And money is the easiest answer that one can have to a problem, which is why it's so sought after, so needed, so loved. It's time for more examples of this so-called evil in Minecraft. One of the first things that you probably thought of was most likely a zombie or a skeleton. But have you ever thought about why these mobs even attack the player? It may seem evil because of how fucking annoying it is to get shot a billion times by a skeleton when you're building your house, but if you genuinely look at these mobs, it seems like they have no control over their bodies. And if you use your inference skills or watch game theory like I did, you can start to realize that these zombies and skeletons are probably affected by some sort of virus, or they have no control over their bodies. They still seem to have some sort of sentience left though. They still try to defend themselves when they're attacked, and they feel fear. Skeletons run away from zombies, and every mob that feels my worry immediately takes off running. But the point is, zombies and skeletons and other hostile mobs aren't really evil. But what are some evil mobs in Minecraft? Let's look at some mobs with some actual intention and purpose in their actions, like the illagers. There's no greater form of anger, malice, or evil in Minecraft than the relationship between the illagers and the villagers. The illagers hate villagers with a passion. Their whole personality is hating them. They remind me a lot of the anti-fairies and Fairly Odd Parents, not outcasts of villager society, but seemingly polar opposites. Not docile, not dumb, but smarter, more aggressive, angrier. It seems like they resent these differences between them. They hate the villagers. That's true evil. There's not a single other mob to my knowledge that acts like this. But why are illagers this way? Why do they hate the villagers unequivocally? It all ties back to an exchange, or rather the lack of exchange that illagers are getting at our villager society. There's a reason illagers aren't allowed in villages. A reason that nobody knows but them. That means they can't talk to other villagers, they can't trade. Some of them might have even had kids that they can never see again. The lack of exchange creates an even bigger rift between the two societies, and the illagers became evil because of it, so caught up in their pain and anger that they commit atrocities to the villagers. So, what does all this mean? The sandbox game of Minecraft tells us about the complexities that money brings upon the world. Corruption, pain, suffering, and pure evil are all things that stem directly from it. Hopefully you learned something from this video. And please like and subscribe, please, I'm back. But I hope you had a good day. Thank you for watching, I'm grateful. Bye.